So there are companies around the world looking to the U.S. They're saying the U.S. has abundant energy. Well, we know, and based on the research that we've done, we know that the best place for them to locate and the lowest cost molecules that they can find is right here in the Shale Crescent, USA.
Energy Insights on a Saturday morning brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. And as promised, we have Nathan Lord with us again. He's the president of Shale Crescent USA. And this is a not-for-profit business made up of companies from the Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, an area that are oil and gas or energy-driven businesses designed to try to spread the word about the positive things that we're doing here in this industry and how we can maybe bring energy. And let's go right there. Energy users. What does that mean? Who are we looking for? What kind of businesses?
Great question. So when you're talking about natural gas, you're talking about something with a ton of energy content. And so when you think about natural gas, maybe think about it this way. Natural gas tends to be the fuel for manufacturing. Oil, which ultimately gasoline you get out of that, is the fuel for transportation.
Okay.
And so for manufacturers, natural gas and natural gas prices are a huge point of concern. They need to make sure it's reliable, and they need to make sure it can be affordable. And that's what we have here in the region. We are one of the most abundant producing areas of natural gas. So let me give you an example. There was a facility just built outside of Pittsburgh. It's a Shell cracker plant. They're going to consume 100,000 barrels a day of ethane. Ethane is the molecule that's just after methane, which is what we burn to heat our homes or our stoves or whatnot. They're going to consume 100,000 barrels a day. And the reason they're going to do that is because they're going to make something called polyethylene, plastic pellets. Well, what do plastic pellets matter to us? Well, those plastic pellets then go to a plastic processor, and they turn it into vinyl plank flooring, toothbrush, child's booster seat, all the items that we touch and use every day. But the reason that Shell came here to this region is because the molecules that they can get, the natural gas that they can get, is at a low cost and abundant supply.
We talked last week, Nathan, about your trip to India and to the conference there, the chemical conference in India. I saw, I think, a slide in Thermali. I don't know what the name of the business was, but you can help me with that. Would that have been a business that relocated here?
Yes, and they strategically expanded into the U.S. market, and almost it's Thermali, but don't worry, we gave it a project name, TCL, because we had trouble with it too. It comes with the territory of dealing with a lot of international names and companies, but they chose to locate here because they had the energy supply. But let me give you a line that the CEO gave us when we met with them in Charleston, West Virginia, about 5 years ago. And we've met with a lot of major companies, but he summed it up literally better than anyone I've ever heard. And he said, I've helped build facilities all over the world, and I almost always have to decide, do I go where my energy and feedstock is, or do I go where my customers are? He said, this is the first time I've never had to make that decision because we have both of them here. And so what that means for their business is they're going to have huge economic savings. They're even going to have savings on emissions. They won't be transporting raw materials in or transporting finished product out. So you eliminate those emissions with it. But I thought he summed it up great when he said, this is the only place in the world where I can have my supply of feedstock and my demand of customers.
So let's break that down. So the energy, the natural gas, obviously in the deposits, access, prices, these are, and I don't know if that's the order that you would prioritize them, but those are the things that are making people go, holy smokes.
Huge point of concern. And so right now, the whole world, and especially as you look back at the past year with Russia and Ukraine, and Russia being a major energy supplier to a lot of Europe, but the whole world is short energy, meaning they would like more energy in any form if they could get it. And so what does that translate for natural gas? Well, think about it this way. We have natural gas in abundance. So we have some of the lowest prices in the world because right now we're oversupplied. And there's a number of reasons for that. So take our area with the lowest natural gas prices in the industrialized world, and whatever our price is, right now it's around $2. it's 10 times that in Europe and about 8 times that in Asia. So if you're a manufacturer and you're consuming a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of natural gas, not just for the heat, not just the electricity, but to make your product, and you're paying 10 times the amount for one of your largest cost drivers, your largest cost inputs, that's going to be a huge challenge. So there are companies around the world looking to the U.S. They're saying the U.S. has abundant energy. Well, we know, and based on the research that we've done, we know that the best place for them to locate and the lowest cost molecules that they can find is right here in the Shale Crescent, USA.
That's Nathan Lord. He's the president of Shale Crescent USA. The program's Energy Insights brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. And a good jumping off point here, because we'll talk a little bit about, if you don't feel blessed after hearing that, we'll talk about the Mid-Ohio Valley, Suga, compared to maybe the way they look at things in India, where Nathan was recently. But we'll do that next week here on Energy Insights.